the more frequent El Ninos by 2040. That was pretty interesting.
It's almost kind of moot because of all the ocean heat content. Think about this right now when you look at what's going on in the 2020s, so from the late 2010s to the current case, compare that to the 1980s, or even the 90s as an example. Right now, the coldest La Nina is hotter, it is warmer. Like the coldest La Nina is warmer than the hottest El Nino. But usually when you have you have change in the sea surface temperature, right? So El Nino gives you warm conditions, La Nina gives you cool conditions, right? And
Right.
in temperature, sea surface, air temperature, sea surface temperature, just a couple of parameters that go into it, but those are kind of the major drivers. Although there's a recent study saying that salinity gradients as well, which is very interesting. That's the paper that people criticize me for being too technical, whatever. But
Oh,
uh,
no.
but so right now, when you look at the rising, sea level, not rising sea level, but the rising sea surface temperatures and the rising ocean heat content, and you plot it right now, we're in the middle of a La Nina for like 2, 3 years right now. This La Nina is still, even at its coolest level, is still warmer than the highest El Nino of 34 years ago.
This is crazy because your video is talking about we could be in a permanent El Nino event coming up basically in a couple of years.
That's what some of the folks who do this analysis are indicating. Yeah,
And the fact that El Nino years are uh more warm on they're I think the last one was like the 2016. It was like the warmest year on record. It was like an El Nino year. So El Nino
that was,
brings, yeah.
yeah.
So it's
It
what,
was a strong. It
2024?
was a strong one too.
Yeah, I can. And oh my gosh, there's been so many stories since, and just like we keep warming the planet, and it just keeps going. And if we get into that El Nino phase, which just seems like it, expect even more dire conditions, kind of thing.
But the thing is, it's like he basically said how much the ocean heat content has increased by in the last 12 months, and it's some crazy number. It's like 20 zettajoules or some crazy shit like that. It's just like holy fuck. So
Exactly. It's just a lot of
when
energy.
when the next El Nino hits, oh my God, we could see the temperatures go. Well, if you look at what those current levels they say are, you easily go over 1.5, if not pushing 2.0.
And this is where it's starting to get serious. I mean, it's serious now, but it just keeps escalating. And
It's it's going to be some very serious shit going on. Yeah.
I know that you talked about was it 2024, right? We could start to see the El Nino conditions. Um, late
That's kind of
2020.
what the indications are right now. I'm seeing neutral state this later this year, a mild El Nino later this year. It could change.
But because the conditions are warming, we could possibly be like stay in an El Nino event longer, kind of like what we saw with the La Nina. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Um, as I said, I still have some issues with the Antarctic iceberg hypothesis, but it could be data that comes out and proves me wrong. Whatever.
Well, it just shows you there's so many like positive feedback loops. We're just like scrambling to gather the intel to make our informed decisions that it's just chaotic at this point. What's going on with the globe? All these weather
Uh,
events. Yeah, you
yeah,
know, you
yeah,
know.
I know.